Hello and welcome. Now this isn't really going to be a versus video, but it's definitely a comparison video. There are plenty of separate reviews out there for both of these knives, the Spyderco Paramilitary 2 on the left and the Spyderco Military on the right. I have reviews on these knives as well. I just thought I'd make a comparison video on, some of the differences, similarities. It's all well and good watching two separate review videos, but I think it's more beneficial, in my opinion, to have them both here in front of you, and you can kind of spot the difference, okay, between them. But there we go. Let's crack into it then. Okay, so if you're on the fence about which one to buy, well, my opinion is, personally, go for the Paramilitary 2, and I'll talk about why throughout this comparison video. Okay, but if you're on the fence, just get it. Enough said, really. No, I'm joking aside. Okay, the similarities are there, definitely. They both have G10 handle scales. Both of these are the digi-camo pattern. They both have satin blades. They both have S30V steel. They're both made in Golden, Colorado, in the USA, as you can see. So, let's talk about the similarities. We've already touched upon the G10. I'd say they're exactly the same grip-wise. On paper, a Spidey hole is the same size. However, I mean, looking at it now, even on the camera, the one on the Paramilitary 2 looks larger. But having said that, on paper they are. Both have the same steel. Both made in America. Look at the jimping. Quite similar jimping. I'd say the Paramilitary 2 has got more jimping, just because it goes to the handle scale there. Okay. And therein kind of lays the similarities. Not that many, really. I'd say there's more differences, really. I mean, other than the handle scales and the blade steel. So the differences, okay, right off the bat then, the weight. The Military is such a light knife for the size. I just cannot explain it. I don't know if people have touched upon this in other reviews, comparisons, but I think it's about 140-ish grams. Just double check on that. No, it's not. Sorry about that. It's actually 120 grams. I still had another review in my head then. But it's 124 grams, okay? And the Paramilitary sets you back 106 grams, okay? So just for, 18 more grams, you can have that larger blade shape, larger blade, and you can have a larger handle. And yeah, you can have a larger price tag, which is to be expected, okay? But the cutting edge on the Military is about 3.6 inches, whereas on the Paramilitary 2 it's 3 inches. So factor that into your decision. Personally, I think if you bought one of them, it wouldn't be very long until you bought the second one, or maybe if you bought one, you'd be quite content. But it is a bit of an addiction, I suppose, because they're just so well made, and they're just excellent knives. They really are. So we'll carry on with the. I went off on a tangent there. We will carry on with the differences. So the blade length, of course, is longer on the Military. The blade shape is, I'd say, similar, probably the same. It's got that lovely point to it on both of them. The locking mechanisms. Now, on the Spyderco Military, you have this liner lock. Okay, so the blade comes open and locks. Very, very satisfying. Hear that? It's quite loud actually, but it's very satisfying, very solid. People have commented about how thin the liner is. That's not an issue. It's just on time, I'd say. Maybe a little bit early, but just on time. It's got the detent in there, so yeah, you have to kind of overcome that. But that's the liner lock. Okay. Now the Paramilitary 2 has the compression lock, which is here. Okay. So there's no, well, there is a small detent in there, but it's very, very smooth. I'd actually say it's smoother, a smoother operation. And then you push that bar across and it releases. So much so, this is how smooth it is. It just falls. Okay, that's how smooth it is. And of course you can flip that out pretty quick or slow, depending on your situation. Okay. Yes, you can shake both of these out as well. The blades are heavy enough to do that. So more differences. So the locks are different. I do prefer personally the compression lock. I don't know if it's any stronger. It probably could be. Many people say it is, but I just do prefer it. The torque screws are larger on the Paramilitary 2, as you can see, and you can yeah, as you can see there, and the lanyard hole is a much larger. You can get 550 through there, no problem, and it's smaller on the Military. Okay, looking at the back, I think you've already spotted it, the pocket clip. It is only a tip down carry for the Spyderco Military, whereas the Paramilitary 2 gives you a 4-way carry option. Excellent, excellent feature. Excellent feature. And of course, I think one of the reasons behind that is if you look at the liners in the Military, well, they're not really existent, I suppose. Oh, focus. There's a small liner on this side of the scale, and it is skeletonized, and there's kind of one on this side, but they're nestled within the handle scales. That's how much quality you're getting. Whereas in the Paramilitary 2, they're both sides, but they are heavily skeletonized, big chunks of steel taken out for them, and that does reduce the overall weight. Okay, so which one to get? Last minute to kind of convince you. Well, personally, with all the things that I've said taken into account, I'd definitely go for the Paramilitary 2. In the UK, it's about £111, probably 120-ish for the all black version, if you're into that kind of thing. And for the Military, it's about £145. But if you had to pick one, personally, I'd go for the Paramilitary 2. I think it's an excellent, excellent everyday carry knife. Obviously not here in the UK, but I suppose in America. Excellent everyday carry knife. The blade length of 3 inches isn't that intimidating, but at the same time, it's a very strong knife that could fulfill a kind of a defensive role. I don't like to say that, but it could do that, and a lot of people do use that. But again, the Military, you're getting a longer blade length, more reach, I'd say. It's a tough decision, but I'd definitely go for the Paramilitary 2, just based on what I would use it for, and I think it's more of a refreshed, up-to-date version because of the larger hardware, more options to carry it, the lock, the smoothness of it, the larger lanyard hole. There's so many things going for it that it's kind of, if you look at the Military, it's kind of a big upgrade, and I just hope that Spyderco come up with a Military 2 within the next few years. But saying that, it's very popular for them. Anyway, hope that's helped you make up your mind. Thanks for watching. Take care.